Hey, what's up, everyone? Good evening, good evening. Let's see. Live streams. Gonna make an announcement. Okay. That should be it. Okay, cool. Spider, how's it going? How are you? For those of you who are in here, let me know how things sound, how things look. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear the music? All that stuff. As I get my reference board up. Yeah. Beats. Hello, welcome. -1. Hey, how's it going? Spider, I'm doing well. Much better than last time. Feel like I can actually speak relatively normally without having to cough a ton. So that's good. My cam music is good. Thank you, Spider. I appreciate it. Alrighty, what are we doing? I have a lot. I feel like I have a lot more detail to do. Just everywhere. So we'll get going. I didn't buy. I got a ton of reference today. Just different skin texture stuff, different like keratin texture stuff that I would like to try and incorporate. So we'll start to do that, and then let's see. Where do I want to start? I think the feet need some work. They're very blocky right now. So I'll probably do that, and then we'll go back to the face, I think. Spitz. Am I saying that right? Spitz. So excited for Tropeo. Cool. Yeah, I am excited for Tropeo as well. It's gonna be a while, but should be fun. -1 now is officially an EOE stream. Hello, Rar. Hello, all. Hey, man. Thanks for the donation. Really appreciate it. I haven't had a chance to talk to you too much since holiday break, so I hope you're doing okay. I saw you pop in last stream, but I think it was kind of towards the end. Fletch, is your game's fauna centered around the Elraz formation? I don't think so. I don't think we have a like specific formation in mind. I know I've taken a look at that formation before, but I can't remember everything that's in there. But I don't think we're focused on a specific formation for the game. It's not like Saurian, you know, where Saurian was focused on Hell Creek and stuff like that. We're not doing that. Beats, shouldn't say this, but Nothosaurus giganteus would be cool. Why not something up with Nothosaurus? I mean, I don't know. I feel like our lineup is pretty solidified at this point, so. But, you know, it doesn't hurt to suggest stuff, I suppose. Fletch, do you let me know what other dinos are in the Elraz formation? Because I know I've taken a look at it before, but it's probably a while ago and I don't remember. I'm interested to know. I mean, I could just probably Google it real quick. My breakfast just arrived. Got some McDonald's. McDonald's breakfast. I used to just get like a what's it called? Like a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle, but lately I've been liking the like hot cakes, big breakfast with hot cakes. I think that's what it's called. If I'm if I'm in a pinch for breakfast time and it's still early enough, I'll get one of those. I've been actually a little bit proud of myself though, because lately I've been I've not been eating like ordering in as much. I've actually been making myself cook much more. It's probably a good thing. Suko Capro. Okay, that's why. It's because of Suko. That's why I thought it was familiar. Yeah, we do have a lot of those dinos. This wing keeps getting in my way. Take this down a few steps, and then we'll polygroup this stuff so I can isolate the foot on its own. I don't have to worry about the other meshes interfering. There we go. I'm trying. So feet and especially on the pterosaurs and the hands are pretty challenging because I really want to get that feeling of the bone underneath the skin. And these are areas that are very thinly, like the skin here is much thinner. So you're going to be able to see much more of that underlying structure of the anatomy. But it's always a tough area to work on because it requires a decent amount of subtlety. Usually takes a while for me to dial it in. Because all this, all this part here on top, especially, is very tendinous. So you're going to see at least a hint of that bony sort of structure under there. But you don't want it to look too bony, because then it'll start to feel shrink wrapped. Like in a bad way. Will T-Rex be able to stop its growth? I'm not sure. Like willingly stop its growth, like before it's full grown, or I'm not really sure. I guess I'm wondering why you would want to stop your growth. What advantage that would be. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know the details of the T-Rex growth stuff. I mean, we're quite a ways away from that guy. Oh, I see. Do we not have a smaller T-Rex species? Tyrannosaurid species? Which dino is next? I'm not sure. I totally forgot to ask Islander if it was alright for me to tell. So I'll probably err on the side of caution. I do feel like Islander mentioned it before, but I can't be sure, so I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. I don't want to get in trouble. Kivarsha, how's it going? Have you started your... I think last time you mentioned that you were starting a new position, right? Doing some design work? How's that going for you? Did you start that yet? Animation gig, sorry. Oh, pizza. Yeah, I just remembered. I was like, dang. I was supposed to ask about that, but I've totally set my mind. Yasin, hello. Kivarsha, I'm gonna pick it up after the holidays and school started again too, I see. They're asking me to do the full locomotion of a raptor. Nice. Ah, okay, I see. New at Blender animation. They're switching to Maya soon. Smogsy, hi, how's it going? I am doing well so far. It's crazy. I feel like this week has gone by pretty fast. I don't know why. But it's already Wednesday. I feel like I've been pretty productive this week. I'm trying out. So I have kind of a lot going on in terms of other projects and things that I want to get going this year. And been using the beginning of this year as sort of I've been enjoying treating it kind of like a reset, right? And just kind of getting organized and doing a lot of planning. I think I'm definitely going to need a lot of like planning and scheduling this year to like do everything I want to do. Problem is, like being very strict with planning has always been like kind of like a weak point of mine. Requires a lot of self-discipline. And like if you're the only one enforcing that, it's kind of hard because it's very easy to give yourself a break, you know? But I'm doing my best to not do that because I think it's the only way for me to like keep on top of everything. But I'm having fun with it so far. Like planning everything that I want to do has been fun. I'm looking forward to the way the year is going to shape up. I just have to try and be better about sticking to my own deadlines, you know. Pizza, yeah, it's one of those weeks for you. Yeah, those weeks feel super weird. I've had that happen to me as well. Kivarstra, if anyone has some Blender tips or shortcuts I should know to help my workflow, please let me know. Regarding animation stuff, I don't think I would be able to help you much there. I'm more of a modeling and like rendering. If it was modeling and rendering, I might be able to help you out more. Smugsy. Yeah, it's. I still don't know what I'm doing next week, let alone planning out an entire year. Yeah, it's It's been a while since I had to do something like that. Like normally, I just take it, day by day, basically. But when I get really, really busy with stuff, and I have a clearer idea of what I want to do, I kind of have to do that. When's the last time that I planned out like a whole thing for myself? It's been a long time. I think the last time that I could really remember is like when I was graduating from college. That was a big ordeal because I had to like manage so many different things. Like all the classes, of course. And then I had a work study position where I was like tutoring a bunch of students. I was basically like kind of like a teacher's aide, sort of like study. Like I was running these like supplemental classes alongside the classes that the students were taking to like help them reinforce information. So I had all that stuff to plan and do. And then the hours for my work study. And then on top of that, I was doing a internship. So I really had to like buckle down for that whole semester. So I could actually like get my grad portfolio done and then get my grad show done. And, it was kind of crazy. This is not as stressful as that was, but I had to plan like my life depended on it back then. Waiting on work and dropping in to say hi. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'd take anything. Let me think. What has been the most helpful thing for me in Blender? I feel like all of the stuff I know is like super kind of basic stuff. Like I wouldn't say I'm like some sort of Blender master or anything. I feel like I do stuff the long way a lot of the time. Like people, I mean, it's happened a couple times on stream where people would be like, well, just hit this keyboard shortcut, instead of like going and clicking in the menus. But I tend to do things that way. I feel like, I don't know, before learning to go crazy with like keyboard shortcuts and stuff like that, it's probably a good idea to like actually learn where everything lives, I like to do things that way. What has helped me? I mean, personalizing the interface has been really nice for me, but it might take a while for you to like learn what you need in order to like personalize your workspace to however you want it, I don't know. Maybe if you find it helpful, you can go back and watch one of the streams where I was blocking in some stuff in Blender and see if there's anything that catches your eye there. I've been doing Blender for 4 years, approaching 5. I have ZBrush, but I don't like it very much. Yeah, I'm probably well, I started with ZBrush. I like ZBrush a lot, but I also really like Blender. I mean, I feel like I use them both kind of interchangeably almost. I feel like I need to probably sculpt in Blender more to make my mind up, but to make my mind up about like really how useful it would be. Like, I'm kind of starting to do a little bit of sculpting in there, just very like simple stuff. But for me, it's going to be all dependent on how much detail I can pump into a model in Blender. Because if I can't get like a mesh like subdivided pretty high, then I would probably just have to end up like transferring it over to ZBrush anyway, you know? So I haven't really experimented with that yet. I understand though, like ZBrush is weird when it comes to comparing it to other 3D programs. It is weird. But yeah, I started with ZBrush, so I don't really know. To me, ZBrush just feels like the normal place to be, you know? I didn't really have a frame of reference for it until I played around with Maya, and then from Maya, I could see like the similarities between like Maya and Blender, for example. And ZBrush just does things totally weird compared to those. They are coming out with like a new interface, I guess, for ZBrush. I saw glimpses of it. I don't know if they've already released that stuff yet or not. Maybe that's supposed to like help even things out a little bit between the different programs. But I don't know if I necessarily would like that. I hope they have like an option to just revert back to the old UI. Because I really don't want to learn a whole different UI right now. Smogsy, I miss traditional sculpting. Watching you work makes me want to break out my polyclay again. Oh, for sure. Actually, I've been thinking about doing that too. My wife and I have an idea for a project that we're gonna do together. Where I will probably be doing, it'll probably involve some ZBrush, but we'll have to do a lot of traditional work too, like armatures and probably some molding and casting and like resculpting stuff. So I'm kind of excited for that, because it has been quite a while since I've sculpted traditionally too. It'd be fun to like revisit that And lately I've been jumping back into more traditional. Like I just got a new sketchbook, and I got a few different pens that I want to try. I actually just started sketching in it today. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it on stream. I got a couple, see if you can actually see that. It's a couple little sketches of a stego. But I just want to have fun doing little studies and stuff in there. Getting back to, I really like pen and ink. I like marker. I might try, this is supposed to be like really thick paper. Supposed to be good enough to handle watercolors and like ink washes. So I might get, I used to have like a water brush pen thing. So I might get one of those again and see if it'll work on here with like one of my little ink and watercolor sets. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I definitely felt like I felt a bit rusty, you know. So I really want to keep at it, so that way I don't. Those traditional skills are important to me, and I don't want them to fade. So I gotta definitely try to find excuses to work that way. I have an illustration coming up for something fun. So I might do some like thumbnails or studies for that illustration traditionally. Just kind of like try to rework that stuff back into my process. Probably a good idea. I've been big on using watercolors, even though they can make for beautiful pieces. Yeah, I used to love watercolor. I feel pretty comfortable with most mediums. I wouldn't say like I tend to lean towards pen and ink and marker, but then like secondarily like watercolor, acrylics, and oil. The only mediums that I feel like kind of fight me a lot, that I would say maybe I don't really like as much, is I don't really like pastels, like oil pastels. Or no, maybe chalk pastels. I mean, chalk pastels are what I don't really like to work with. I used to kind of, it's because they would give us like occasionally a chalk pastel assignment at school, and I would kind of dread that. Everything else was fine. Oil paints are fun, Smogsy. They do. It's just a lot of prep work, and they can make a big mess. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just messy. I don't know. But I would be painting, and then all of a sudden I'd have a paint on me somewhere, and I'm like, how the heck did that get there? They can be kind of toxic too, right? Like you're dealing with like heavy metals in the paint, so I really like the way they feel, the way they go onto the canvas. I really like I like painterly images, you know. I like seeing brush strokes, like really nice thick brush strokes on canvases. I like impressionistic paintings a lot. Like the way the oil paint kind of smears into other colors and the way you can blend stuff together. Really nice. It's just, yeah, it can be messy, lots of setup, can be kind of toxic. You have to be careful. I had a instructor who actually he developed, I think he developed some sort of allergy or some sort of reaction to certain types of oil paint, to the point where he couldn't even be in the room with certain types of paint, which is kind of sad because I think he really loved painting in oil, and he wasn't able to do as much of it as he wanted to at that point. Oh man, I forgot to put on backface masking, and now it's chopping through my mesh. That's great. Oh yeah, kids and dogs for sure. That would be hard. Painting minis, yeah. Lurbone Mains. Hello, how's it going? Okay. I gotta define, let's see, what am I trying to do here? I want to define some of this musculature here. And then I need to maybe texture up the wings a bit. I'm wondering, let's see. Do I like how this webbing is working? I should get some reference of like, I don't know, like some ducks or something. Duck feet. Oh, these are kind of cool. I found some penguin feet. They have an interesting texture on them. Almost reminds me of what some people do. Some people kind of do Spino feet like this. One second. Just need a couple more. Okay. Oh, thanks, Lurbo. Yeah, we'll get some more details in here this evening. Probably need to spread out the toes a little bit so I can actually get in detail there. So let's try to do that here. Oh, I thought I... Okay, now I can rotate these. Smogsy, I need to do more anatomy studies to make my critters look better. Yeah, that will definitely help. Any type of critter specifically? I'm kind of splaying these out pretty far, but I do need to get in between those toes to do all the detailing on that webbing. We'll start some hints at it. I don't know if I want to go too far with it right now. Oh, monsters mostly. Yeah, I mean, anything could really help out with that. Yeah. Ooh, what is this? Something's going on with the mesh in here. What is that? Some weird smoothing stuff happening there. Okay. I don't know. Not that big a deal. I thought I was afraid that it was going to be a hole. That would have been bad. Brittany, am I still able to buy like the $20 thing? You talking about? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Maybe the oh, there you go. Yeah, I was wondering if you're talking about the Patreon where you can get access to the tech demo. I think you can still do that. Yeah, I think you should be able to still do that. Has everyone here had a chance to play the tech demo? Have you had any funny or interesting interactions on there? Been seeing lots of videos go up of people playing. Nice, Spider. Anything stand out in particular? No worries, Smugsy. I mean, if you have a game that you love and you have fun doing it, I don't see the problem in getting some hours in there, you know? That's what they're for. Just shy of 400 hours. Okay, that's a pretty decent amount of time. I was playing in Arano, and a group of 10 humans ran up on me and started dancing around me in a circle. Is there a way for the Arano to dance in response? All right, I'm going to start in on some wrinkles for the wings. I think the wings need some attention. Is it like it? Do the human characters have like emotes yet? Can they do like little gestures and dances and stuff? Or were they just like crouching up and down next to you? Tap A and D keys to wiggle dance. Jump scaring people. Yokar Urano Tribal. I saw some how scare people by existing near them in game. Nighttime hunting is a blast. That does sound fun. Starting to build up this skin texture here. I'll have to pop in. I'll have to go back over it with some alphas just to add a little bit more detail. But I really want to try to hand sculpt the first pass at least. So is it pretty hard to take down an Urano then? Especially like in the daytime if it can see you? See you well? I feel like it probably should be, right? Like it shouldn't be easy to take down a big fully grown herbivore. Velociraptor, how's it going? Welcome in, welcome in. 90% of the time they will flee to the water. Yeah, that makes sense as well. Are the chats in the game locked to species? Or can you like communicate with an Urano player, you know? Uh-oh, I messed up my focal shift, I think. Only global chat, okay. Spartan, how's it going? Life as an Orano is still too easy right now. Just because of like access to food, or what's making it easy? Oh, okay. The predators. I see. Oh, I wonder why that is. Are they just like they starve out? I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be hard for a little baby EO to get enough food. A bit disappointed. I bought a new shaver recently, a foil one, and I've absolutely no clue. It only works when you have really short hair, so you have to go to the shop tomorrow to hopefully return it and get a new one. Otherwise, fine. I'm doing pretty well. I kind of had maybe a little bit of a similar experience. It wasn't a shaver, but I ordered something and then I realized that I couldn't use it right away, and it was pretty disappointing. I got a new fountain pen. I really like fountain pens, and it's been a while since I got a new one. But I didn't read the description in the little like order form, and I didn't realize that it didn't come with ink already. I should have thought about it, but I didn't. So I was really excited to get the pen, and then once I tried writing with it, I was like, okay, I don't have ink. So I had to wait for ink to come in. So that was annoying, but my fault. I should have thought about it. I mean, again, there's like trying to get back into like using traditional media more. A lot of the supplies that I used to have just on hand are just not around anymore. They're too old to use. Like a lot of my paint is gone bad, or like my ink is dried up in the bottle, or stuff like that. It's kind of annoying. So I have to rebuy some stuff. Moxie, my hubby loves fountain pens. Oh, nice. I like testing out and using lots of different pens and pencils, and probably more so pens, but pencils too. Because each of them have their own like unique feel to them, and what they're good at and what they're not good at, how they work on certain paper and versus others, all that stuff. It's fun to learn the ins and outs of it. I have my selection of favorite stuff, but there's always so much to like there's always new stuff to try out and learn. It's part of like, it can be kind of bad too, because I have so many sketchbooks. Like I'll if I'm not careful, I can just get a bunch of sketchbooks and there'll be nothing in them. It's just I wanted to try the paper, you know. Velociraptor fan. I'm hoping your guys' game gives the Isle a shock in the future. Then maybe they will start trying to fix some of the issues. Maybe, I mean, you never know how another game is going to affect the ecosystem, you know? Your husband is a stationary nerd. Stationary's fun. I mean, I don't think I would ever have foreseen myself saying that, you know. But I do find myself. There's a really cool Japanese bookstore in downtown Portland, and I really like going in there because they have all kinds of cool like art books and collectibles and comics and all kinds of cool stuff. But they have this gigantic stationery section with like a ton of pens, papers, erasers, pencils, like you name it, they have it in there. And it's just, I could spend hours just looking at all that stuff, trying out little scribbles with different pens. I think I'm actually going to go there with my friends on sometime soon, probably next week. So they're flying in to visit for the weekend, so we'll probably take them there and see what we can find. Spartan, sorry about that. Yeah. It always sucks 1 year, like, it's just a little bit of an inconvenience, right? Speeds, I need advice, like I'm horrible at online art. What kind of brushes do you use for concepts? I don't really use anything too special. A lot of it is just default stuff. You can really get by, or I shouldn't say you can get by. Like, you can get really far with just using like a normal round brush, or, you know, as a matter of fact, like, if you're just starting out, I would actually suggest that you like try to get used to like not relying too much on like super custom brushes. Try to find brushes that are like simple but varied, you know, brushes that can do multiple things well, instead of like one brush that only does one thing, you know. Yeah, because it can be kind of overwhelming, and you're like trying to find the specific brush to do the specific thing that you want it to do. I would I would just say like try to learn how to like make the brush do what you want it to do, you know? Whether that's like just a hard round brush or hard round brushes, square brushes I like with like a transfer on it so it can like fade in and out really nice with pen pressure. Stuff that you can draw really nice clean lines with, and then other stuff that you can get very broad like paint strokes with. If I could recommend a brush set to you, let me see. Some of the artists that I got brushes from when I was starting out might not be around. Like, let me see. So I used to follow this guy. His name is Mr. Jack. He works for, or he used to work for Blizzard. I think he still does stuff. Like I see stuff that he's done for like Hearthstone, stuff like that. But he had a brush set that was really nice, simple brush set, but really it did a lot of stuff well. If you go to his DeviantArt, like this brush set here, if you can see that, I hope you can see that. It's really nice, this brush set. I still use this brush set, but you can see it's not like a ton of brushes. But they all do a lot of work, you know. They can be applied to various situations. So I would try to see if you can grab this. I don't know. It might not be active. Maybe there's a way to find it on Gumroad or something. But you're looking for something like this. There's lots of brush sets that'll give you the same. Another good artist, Suke. Suke's brush set is really nice. He works for Riot, does some stuff for Valorant. But his brush set is kind of similar. It can do a lot of things. It's not like a huge brush set. It's maybe like 10 brushes. But it's really nice. So try to explore and see if you can find some stuff like that. The thing I would say to try to avoid is like some people will try to be like, here's a brush, you know, buy my brush set. It's got like 150 brushes in it. You know, you're not going to use 150 brushes. It's just going to be clutter. You know, it's just going to like, you're going to have that palette of brushes off to the side, and it's just going to be like, you're not going to sort through all. It's going to be overwhelming, I think. Rumble, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks, model's doing well. Thank you. Wait, Cobra, how are you using a brush on a 3D model? Oh, like the ones that I was showing are those would be for like Photoshop, for drawing and painting. I mean, you could try to simulate that in here. Like, you could copy the alpha and put it into the like this little slot here and try to paint with it. But I think probably Substance Painter is probably better for that. Yeah, Spartan. Yeah, Suke is a really cool artist. I like his work. And I have his brush set and I use it pretty frequently. Yeah, Spitz. But yeah, one important thing is, just it no harm in trying something, like if you're interested in a brush set and it doesn't cost a lot, or a lot of these brush sets are just free, right? Just download it, try it out, do a sketch in with the brush set, and just think about if it's working for you. Like, does this work for me? Do I like this? If you like it, save it out, put it in like a faves brush. I have something like that where it's just like, I actually have an what is it called? It's a plugin that lets you favorite brushes, and then it like gets sorted into a separate little palette. But you can just save them out into like a separate file where it's like your favorite brushes, and then just keep trying stuff out until you find your select favorite tools, but most importantly, just think about, does it work for me? Because as long as it works for you and you have fun using it and it gets you the results that you need, that's all that really matters. Lost Raptor fan, I feel like playing Echoes now that I'm watching the stream. Trying to get a Maya to 100% on the Isle, though, so I'll hop in a bit. Okay, cool. Thanks, Spartan. I really appreciate it. After you're done with the trope, how long do you think it will take for it to come into the game? I don't know. After it leaves my hands, I really can't say how long it would take, because that's where it goes to animation, and I don't know how long animation takes. I feel like it's going pretty fast. I mean, if you take a look at the Purosaurus progress, I feel like there's been a lot of progress with the animations for the Puru. But I know there are a lot of animations to run through, so I don't know. Maybe I'll ask one of the animators one day if I remember how long generally stuff takes them to animate. Could we get a view of the whole body really quick? Sure. So there he is in side view. And then if we want to turn him around a little bit, it's kind of, these pterosaurs are always awkward to get good views of because their wings just jut out so far. But that's how he's looking right now. Spooky boy. A little bit spooky, right? Those teeth are pretty gnarly looking. I think I have to tone down the strength of the smoothing brush. These wing membranes need to be, the skin texture should be pretty subtle. Doesn't need to be like very wrinkly or anything, because this membrane should be like, it's supposed to be held taut, right? Like it's supposed to hold the pterosaur aloft while it's flying, so it doesn't need to like have these huge wrinkles or anything, but it does need to have some sort of skin texture on it. So I'm just trying to make something that feels detailed but isn't so strong that it makes it look unbelievable, you know, like it still needs to feel like a smooth-ish surface. Spartan, it's a bit late here, so I shall be heading to bed. No worries, yeah. Thank you for the stream, Raul. Hope everybody has a good night. Have a good night, Spartan. See you around. One brush that might be cool. One of these, I can't remember which one it is. It's going to add like a bumpy texture, but if I smooth it out, it should feel very, should be pretty subtle. And I'll tone down the intensity too, just to... Tried some basic brushes in Procreate and turned out pretty good for my standards. Yeah, Procreate has a good set of default brushes as well. I haven't really had to like reach out to external sources to get better brushes for Procreate. I kind of like what they already have. So I think that's a solid choice. Let's switch up the material here quickly. Could help me identify some different details that I want to exaggerate. This one used to be pretty good, but it's flattening out a lot of these big surfaces. About this one. That one might be good. That one's nice. Let's just go with this one because I can see the detail in the wing a lot better here. We might be needing to subdivide. Oh, you know what? We're not at the highest subdiv. There we go. I was wondering why some of the details are starting to feel a little crunchy. It's because we weren't at the highest resolution yet. So with that, I feel like that's a decent like base texture, but we can always add more with some alpha help. Where is we need these guys. I've been working with ZBrush for a long time, and I've tried a lot of skin alpha like textures, but for some reason I always keep coming back to this one. It's just a really good texture. It's hard to find something that tops it because it's just so versatile. And I suppose I could make one. I might do that later if I need to. American Caesar trope is looking amazing. How far is it in development? So this is the high poly sculpt stage. After high poly, we have the UVs and then baking and texturing. So it's kind of hard to say like exactly where it is. I would say it's like, yeah. Once the high poly is finished, we're probably about halfway. At least for my part, that doesn't include the animation and all that stuff that has to get done. think I'm just gonna add this alpha around, just to kind of clear the blank canvas, you know, and then work on top of it. This will be the 4th creature, right? Yes, that's correct. Yeah. The one downside to pterosaurs is like, so you get the you definitely get the symmetry, right? Because everything I do here was done on the other side, but I also have to redo it at the bottom side. That's the thing about pterosaurs that I kind of forget about. My keyboard is about to die. Give me 1 second. Okay. I'm pretty impressed with this keyboard. Like, the battery life is really nice for being wireless. It feels like a couple weeks or more to lose battery all the way. And I'm using it pretty much all day, every day. Do a little bit of fandom. Looking really good so far. How you doing today? I'm doing pretty well, thank you. It's nice to kind of wind down the day with some dinosaur sculpting, you know. Not gonna complain. Or flying reptile sculpting, I should say. Yeah, it can be pretty chill. Just kind of zone in and get into some cool little details. The only thing that makes a sculpt stressful is not the sculpt itself, it's just whatever deadlines are around it. That's the stressful part. But thankfully, we got some time to work on this. We're not in crunch mode. think we might actually have to subdivide one more time just to pack this with the level of detail I want, because these little dotted surfaces here that I'm adding are getting picked up, but not quite as much as I'd like it to. So we might need to subdivide again, but we'll see. It's just like a nice little subtle noisy texture that I'm adding here. It's kind of giving the effect of like pores in skin. American Caesar, how did you learn to sculpt? How did I learn to sculpt? I've been sculpting for a long time. Now that if I really think back on it, I've been sculpting for a while. Nobody really taught me how to sculpt initially. I started with clay, what would they call it? I think they would call it earthen clay, clay that you would fire in a kiln for pottery and stuff like that. That's how I started sculpting, and I just started in high school actually, working with that stuff just for art class assignments and things like that. But I really liked it, and I was pushing pushing the limits of what you could do with that sort of thing. Not I wasn't when I say pushing the limits, it's not I was doing anything groundbreaking or anything like that. But it's just there's certain things that certain mediums are good at. And I was trying to use this ceramic kind of clay in a way that just wasn't it was never meant to be used for, what I really should have learned how to use first was polymer clay, because that's more along the lines of what I actually wanted to do. It's just I didn't know that's what I needed, It wasn't until I got into college that I learned about polymer clay. I learned about how sculptures are made for movies, practical effects. I watched a lot of Noman videos on how to sculpt. One of the videos that I watched was a video from Peter Koenig on how to do. He was doing an alien creature maquette. Peter Koenig is a really awesome sculptor. He worked on Jurassic Park. He worked on Starship Troopers, Dragonheart. Worked on a bunch of stuff. And later I actually got to take a class directly with him. Let me show you his stuff. I think he's on ArtStation. Yeah. So this is Peter Koenig's stuff. Yeah, like his Jurassic Park stuff is really cool. I think there is a picture of him working on one of these meshes. I mean, not meshes, on one of these models. And then their Starship Trooper stuff is really cool. I really like these bugs. So yeah, I was able to learn from him. He was teaching a ZBrush course, and we were doing like a creature bust sculpt. Like this dragon this is probably one of my favorite dragon designs. Like ever, probably. Aside from like some of like Monster Hunter dragon designs, I think that one's really cool. But yeah, I learned a lot from him. And I was actually working traditionally for a long time. When I was in college, I did a lot of traditional sculpting with polymer clay. And then I transitioned over to ZBrush at the end of my college, like when I graduated. So it was a combination of just kind of like doing stuff and not really knowing what I was doing, and like playing around, and then trying to learn what I needed in terms of materials and techniques. I learned all of that stuff from like Gnomon tutorials. There wasn't a lot of stuff about ZBrush like directly on YouTube when I was starting out. Now there's a ton. But one of the tutorials that I followed was one from oh man, I'm forgetting his name right now. Oh, I can't believe it. He's like one of the main ZBrush tutorial guys on YouTube. Oh man. I have to find him now because it's gonna bug me. Michael Pavlovich. So before he had his YouTube channel, I think he did stuff for 3D Total, which was like a special effects and like concept art website. So they had DVDs and stuff, and I learned how to. I bought one of those, and I learned the good chunk of like the more detailed stuff about ZBrush from there. Because he goes like Michael Pavlovich, like knows so much about ZBrush. It's insane. He'll show you like 5 different ways to do one thing. You know, it's pretty crazy. So it's pretty much like a really in-depth dive into ZBrush. His channel is loaded with a ton of really good info about ZBrush. Can Tropeo pick up things bigger than itself, like harpy eagles? In the game, I think so. I think there were some conversations about the Tropeo picking up larger things, even people. I'm assuming in real life, right? Like in terms of paleo accuracy, paleo ecology, I think this guy was a skim feeder, which means like they're flying along the water, right? And then there's like, if you imagine this line on my screen to be the water surface, they're like flying along and dipping their beaks under the water and catching stuff and then flying back up. So a skim feeder. So I would think, they probably could catch some pretty big fish and still fly fairly easily. I mean, it's really surprising what flying animals can lift. I've seen videos of ospreys catching like gigantic fish and still being able to fly off with them. They have to orient them a certain way so that way they can like maintain their balance and stuff, and they have to make sure that the fish doesn't like flop around and stuff. But I kind of don't think that pterosaurs would have that issue, because they're picking things up directly with their mouth, not their feet. Is the game music? It sounds... is this in-game music? It sounds like the menu. I think it's very relaxed. Yeah, this is the in-game music. This is the soundtrack. It is very relaxing, yeah. Alrighty, y'all. I gotta run. It's 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna wrap up the stream now and head out. I'll be online again on Saturday doing more work on Tropeo. So if you guys want to stop in and say hi, you're more than welcome to. Thanks again, everybody, for being here this evening. Really appreciate all the questions and all that stuff. And I'll see you Saturday. We'll do more work then. All right. Have a good evening, everyone. I'll talk to you later.